video number 2 today. So I actually, I went back and I read the question about the strap and I misunderstood it completely. The question was from, they had a very unusual name. It was something like 11PNR24, something like that. But anyways, okay, so the question wasn't about the different types of straps, because that's what I talked about, right? My strap, like the traditional guitar strap versus the strap Jake uses, which I believe was originally for the mandolin. I don't know why I'm thinking that. But anyways, it was whether you should use a strap or not. Okay, so I think I should talk about that. So since I talked about the other straps, let's spend some time talking about how to play without a strap. Sounds simple. Let's do it. Okay, so playing without a strap. Okay, so when you play without a strap, there's two things you can do. You can either sit or stand. Okay, so let me go over sitting down first because that's the easier one. Okay, so you don't have a strap. So when you're sitting down, the first thing you want to do is, what I tell everyone is when you're sitting down, don't try to hold up your ukulele like this. Okay, the benefit of sitting down is you can let the butt of your ukulele, or the bottom part, just rest on your lap. Okay, and now you don't have to worry about the ukulele falling this way. Okay, so this is probably the most basic thing, right? Usually when I talk about holding a ukulele, I say, put the back of the ukulele against your stomach. If you're sitting down, you can rest it on your lap. I like to hold my neck up just below my shoulders, I guess, okay? The one thing you really don't want to do though, and I notice a lot of children do this, is they let the ukulele sit on their lap like this, okay? And the reason why this is not good, or even like this, I think they do this because it's easier for them to look at the fretboard. But what happens is, if you look at my left hand, for me to actually play, my left hand has to come underneath like this, okay? And if you look at your fingers, you don't want your fingers to be like this, because look how short they are. So it's really difficult to move your fingers around when they're this short. You want your thumb in the back with your 4 fingers out, and you can move your fingers a lot better this way, okay? So, if your fingers are moving this way like this, how are you actually holding the ukulele? Because a lot of times it'll slip down in your hand. You bring it back, okay? And then it'll slip down again. Okay, so what you have to do is take your hand, do like a karate chop or something, and let your fingers rest underneath here. Okay, this is how you hold the neck up, with this finger right here. And from here, you move, and then when you need to reset, you always come back here. F chord, G7 chord, I'm holding the ukulele, C chord. Okay, if I need to go back, A minor, F, G7, C, okay? And once in a while, you might have to come out, so you have the space, but every time you move, you always let the ukulele fall on the side of your hand, you go to the next chord. So like C chord, I'm actually holding it up, right? You can see that. C chord, now I'm going to the F chord, I'm going to let it go, so now there's the space. Okay. I'm going to go to a G7, all I'm going to do is bring my finger back, it's resting on my finger, add the G7 chord. Okay, now I'm going to go back to the C chord, slide this finger out. Now I can let it go. Okay, now let's say I'm going to go to a different G7 chord. I'm going to let the ukulele sit on my finger here, and then add my fingers here. Okay, so it does take some practice, but just remember the side of your finger right here is where you're holding the neck up. Okay, and if you need to let it go, because once you hold a chord, you can let it go. So like, I put my finger on the F chord. Now I can hold the ukulele up. Okay, I'm going to go to that G7 again. I'm going to let the ukulele drop in my hand. 1, 2, 3. I got the G7. I'm going to go to the C, a higher C. See how my finger slides up and to the C. So if I want to play something like, okay, I can go here, slide it down here. So in this case, I'm just sliding down. Slide down. Okay, but this is just your left hand. Okay, this is how you hold the neck up with your left hand. Okay, don't forget you have a right hand. And a lot of times when we pick, or we use our thumb, we have our 4 fingers underneath here. So these 4 fingers here, when I pick, I can actually let my left hand go. Okay, so it's not that critical that I have to do everything and hold everything up with my left hand. If my fingers are underneath, I can actually just, I don't even need this hand. This hand's free. Okay, so most likely when you're strumming, okay, now you have to rely on your left hand because there's nothing under here. So when you're strumming, you have to use your left hand here. Okay, so I always say your finger here, right against the nut, on the corner of your nut. This is a good ready position. And the reason is if I were to close my eyes and just put my finger underneath right here, I have no idea where I am. I really don't. Okay, if I slide it down here, I don't know where I am. But if I'm in my ready position and I can feel the chord of the nut there, now I know the C chord. G, C. Okay, if I know where I am. So I like this spot right here on the chord. This is my ready position. Okay, so basically anytime you use your thumb, okay, and you have your 4 fingers underneath, you can free up your left hand. Okay, I don't even need this hand, okay? But if I'm strumming, I have to know how to go C, this part of my finger, okay? And keep in mind, it's not this part of your finger, or your hand's not like this, because the skin on your finger here, this is the fatty part of your finger, right? So a lot of times you can touch the string and actually meet the string. Okay, this part, the side of your finger over here is usually a lot more bony, so it's difficult to touch a string. You gotta actually come up. Oh, still missed it. This way, it's pretty simple to touch the strings. Okay, so this is how you play sitting down. Okay, it takes some time to get comfortable, but this is pretty much the logic behind it. Okay, when you're, I'm not going to stand up, but the main point is you notice how the ukulele is not resting on my lap. Okay, and this is the equivalent to standing up and playing. Okay, so now the object is you have to be able to hold the ukulele in place with one hand. Okay, so if it's your left hand, you're in your ready position. You notice how my elbow is holding the ukulele in place? And this allows me to strum. Again, same thing. So this is important, my elbow holding up the body. This is how I'm holding the ukulele so it doesn't slip down. Okay, it's like between my ribs and my forearm, right around here, okay? So I'm doing this, and I can strum, and this I can. Now when I'm using my thumb, okay, same thing like sitting down. I'm just holding the ukulele up. Okay, and this hand is free. Okay, so the object is you have to get comfortable whether holding it this way or holding it this way. Okay, this way, this way, this way, this way. Okay, now one thing I want you to keep in mind is that, for example, let me put this down. Well, in case you're wondering what's going on with my ukulele, is I have a pickup in it, so there's a battery, and there's actually a battery pack, something that holds the battery, and it's Velcro, and it sticks to the top, so the battery is always secure, and I can play it. But I let someone borrow my battery pack, so my battery is actually kind of loose in my ukulele. So when I get the battery pack back, I can put the battery in there, stick it to the top, and I won't have that problem. So that sound you hear sometimes, that dunk, 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 that's me forgetting the battery is in my ukulele and it's loose, so when I put it down, it's, you know. Anyways, okay, so an ukulele like this. Okay, so I have no problem playing standing up with this instrument, okay? And it's not because I'm trying to promote Shimabukuro. It's because I don't have the battery and the pickup in here, so it's a lot lighter. It's easier for me to just hold the ukulele like this, okay? In my ukulele, I have a 9-volt battery and the pickup, so it adds weight to it. So it's a little harder, you know, I gotta squeeze a little harder with my right hand, okay? But that's pretty much the only difference. So I think if you're at home and you have an ukulele and you don't have a pickup or a battery, your body should be a lot lighter. So it should be a little easier to play, just, you know, kind of hold it like this, okay? With my ukulele, I have to actually, I feel like I have to actually kind of squeeze a little harder to keep it in place, okay? Because it is noticeably heavier. Okay, so that's how you play standing. Oh, so here's examples of when I would have a difficult time playing standing up. Sometimes I'll do an arpeggio where, okay, I'm gonna do it with it resting on my lap. Maybe, oh. Maybe I might do an arpeggio like this. Right hand, I'm not underneath the ukulele. Okay, I have to do it this way. Okay, so this is what I need to do to play this arpeggio. Okay, and already I can kind of feel it slipping down because it's pretty heavy, and that's not good. Okay, so there are certain techniques that I need to either sit down, or sometimes I'll just get a footstool. You know, like if I'm standing up, I got a little footstool. Okay, but it is difficult for me to hold the ukulele standing up and do this technique. And it slowly is gonna start slipping down, right? So, so that's the basics though to playing without a strap. Ask me what's better, I can tell you having a strap is a lot easier. If you take pride in being able to play without a strap, I understand. But like I said, I've been using a strap for a very, very long time. And you know, the bottom line is a strap allows me to just play better, you know, so that's why I use it, and that's why I do it, because if I have my strap, there's certain things I can't do, and I'd rather just have the strap. So this is the basics to how to play without a strap. Okay, one last time I'll review. If you're sitting down, just rest it on your lap, and remember this part with your left hand. This is the most important part. Okay, this is how you move up and down the fretboard. Your finger here, ready position here, C chord, F chord. When you're using your thumb to pick or to chord, like falling slowly, okay? Because my four fingers are underneath here, I don't even care what I do with my left hand. I don't need to do this technique thing. Okay, but when I'm strumming, okay, when I'm strumming, I need to move around by sliding my pointer finger around. Because if I let it go, the ukulele will just fall, right? Just like this. So I have to slide it, okay? And then, remember I was talking about using your elbow. When you're sitting down, it's not that important to use your elbow because the ukulele will not fall down. It's already resting on my lap, okay? You're standing up, and you don't have the ukulele resting on your lap, and you gotta hold it against your body. Well, this is it, right here. This is where it comes from, this little chicken wing action, okay? And your finger. Okay, so I hope that helps. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments. Okay, so maybe I'll do another video, we'll see. I will talk to you soon.